Hi, welcome back to IBC 2024. You're at the Amagi booth. I'm Joe Ashby. Thank you for watching us. I'm joined by my friend Prem, all the way from Bangalore. How are you, man? Good to see you again.
I'm good.
So, you work on the CloudPort team, and when I first joined the company a couple of years back, that was my first introduction to Amagi and its tech stack and its products, right? It was working with CloudPort, and I have seen CloudPort take an incredible transformation over the last 2.5 years, right? We have taken it from something great to something beyond great, in my opinion, right? And I know you're here with a lot of new features and new capabilities that we want to demonstrate. So let's not waste any time, right? The first thing I wanted to ask you about was resiliency. We've been doing a lot of work to really bolster our reliability and our resiliency, working with redundancy services. Let's walk people through all the new things we're doing.
Yeah, sure, Joe. So typically, right, as in the latest release, 4.x release, we have added new features which are super powerful. So we are typically focusing on three fronts. One is like the resiliency part. Second one is operational efficiencies. And third one is handling the latency, which are critical nowadays, typically for the live use cases. So talking about the resiliency part, typically in play out and live scenarios, right? Handling outages is a very, very critical part. So
Definitely.
our customers will expect Amagi and Amagi products to work seamlessly without
Yes.
any issue.
Yeah, 5 nines is a need,
Yeah.
right? Not a want, it's a need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do we achieve that? So Amagi already has a few options where we do support deployments across regions, deployment across availability zones. Now, what we have done new this time is when now we are supporting two setups which are deployed in two regions separately, working independently, can work in sync with a frame level accuracy.
So you're saying that you can have region X, region Y, 2 hot rooms running 2 separate instances of CloudPort that then become synchronized simultaneously.
That's right, Joe.
Okay, that's amazing. You've got to show us this if you can demonstrate this. What's this called, by the way?
Yeah, so we typically call it flexing internally.
Yeah. I love our little internal names for things. It's so much fun, right? So flexing. Can you demo flexing for us?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So just a few words about how it works is typically we can have these two independent setups running differently. Now, when we put them in sync, what all actions are taken by the operator on setup one will automatically get synced. So typically, even as in what problems our customers are facing was maintaining two redundant solution is an additional work, right? Now with this feature, no additional work is required. You just take actions on the setup one, and setup two will just follow it.
Just like a classic XY failover scenario in a rack room.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
So I will demo. I will give a brief about what it is. So typically there are two systems which are next to us.
Sure.
Let's call this X. Let's call the other one as Y. Now, as you can see, the layout over here is different. Whatever is getting the setup Y, we'll call it leader, which is like which
Sure,
will
like
get
leader
used.
follower concept.
Correct.
Sure.
Yes. So operator will typically use the leader system to take the actions, and the other system will automatically get synced. Now, as you can see, I will just click on the button, and again it's very simple. As operator just need to click this button, and then boom, these setups are in sync. Now, as you can see, it will take a second to get the things.
So this is actually happening right now in progress. You've just synchronized these two environments.
Correct.
It really was as easy as pressing one button.
Yeah, it is that easy.
It is that easy.
Correct.
Okay, we keep saying that over and over as I'm doing more and more demonstrations across our stack. I just keep finding out that it's just that easy. It's just that easy. It's just that easy.
Yeah, correct.
We should change our nickname to "It's just that easy."
Yeah, so typically we really focus on the operational efficiencies for the operator. So for the operator, reason we want to make it very simple. We do not want them to call anyone to set up it for them. So it's like whatever options are available on the UI, they can just click on it and then it will start playing up.
That's pretty amazing.
And as we can see, like whatever actions are available over here, if I do take next, the take next action will happen over here and it will get synced on the other system.
I saw it.
As you can see right over here, I think two gentlemen are talking about some news article over here, and I think the same is getting reflected on the other setup as well. Now, every action which is being taken over here will get reflected, and that's how it goes on.
And just so we're clear for the audience, this is actually running in 2 different data centers, far apart. This is not being faked. This really just happened. We synced X and Y across a continent simultaneously.
Correctly, exactly.
That's
right.
That's impressive.
So technically, we have one setup running on the east zone, the other setup running on the west zone, and then we are we are able to sync it with a frame level accuracy.
That's
So,
absolutely amazing. Is there anything else about resiliency before we move on? Because
typically, as we are giving the enterprise grade solutions, right? We have multiple level of resiliencies, right? Across multiple availability zone is one, across region is the second one.
Sure.
Now on top of that, we have built flexing, using which two systems can be synced together. And now, typically, in order to help a set of customers where they want to give an extra layer of safety when it comes to emergencies. And these scenarios is like, say, for example, if the network at the site goes down, or if the complete or both the regions go down,
right,
which is very unlikely, by the way. But still, if that happens, we are still extending the solution to an on-prem part.
Okay.
So the same system, the playout system, can be installed on a separate hardware box. And again, as we focus on the operational efficiencies, again, it is just a one click away from turning that box out. So even if there is no internet, even if there is a cloud outage, the operations will still continue.
That's
and this is more useful for the news kind of customers where they want to continue with the news shows, even if there are disasters like hurricane or flood.
I can see this being huge for OTA affiliates, right?
Yeah, exactly.
To have a level of revenue protection on the ground at all times.
Correct.
That's an absolutely great feature.
Yeah.
I want to move on because we are running out of time. Let's talk about new automation features. Let's talk about some improved, operational efficiencies. You dropped that term on me a few times as we were reviewing our conversation, right? So what new operational efficiencies are we really bringing to the UI, bringing to the operator?
Correct. So again, we have introduced two new things over there. First one is the concept of digitization, and the second one is we call it multi-channel control. Now first I'll talk about the digitization part. So typically, for any operator, right, depending on the business use case, depending on the channel use case, not all details are required for the operations part. For example, channel 1 is very much interested in playing our graphics, whereas channel 2 is very much interested in checking the live inputs and all.
Sure.
Right?
Are you able to pull up a demonstration of that as well? And show us? That'd be amazing. And while you're working on that, I'll just talk to the audience and say, while he's working on that, every single thing you're seeing us perform now is live and demoable at the show. If you're watching and you want to come by the booth, you can come talk to Prim, and he will show you all of this in deep, deep detail.
So as you can see, right, typically on the CloudPort UI, you will see a couple of open tabs. Media library to handle the assets, then schedule to create a playlist, and then the playout window to actually take the actions. Right. Now you will start seeing one more tab over here. I've just given a name called custom layout. Now, how do we define this? So if you go to the configuration page, you can create a new layout.
Wow.
So you'll get a blank slate over here.
Yeah.
And all the widgets are listed on the left-hand side. And again, as I said, it's pretty easy to configure it on the UI.
Absolutely.
Someone can just drag and drop these options. So this is the time code, timestamp available. And I can put some channel code. And at the same time, I can put the playlist box over here so that I can watch what is getting played out. Now, say for example, if I'm working as an operator, right?
Yeah.
Where the actions are little on the heavier side, I can pick up the actions over here as well. All these buttons. So, for example, Technics is the primary one I'm taking. I'll just put it on the right hand side, bottom side, so that I can.
The operator who wants one giant take live button.
Correct. I can resize it accordingly. It is very easy to locate that button and click it out.
I love that.
And for example, if I want to put some text box saying, say, Joe is great, I will put it over here.
That's amazing.
That's for the operator's interpretation. And then again, as you can see, the other part we have seen is the countdown timers. You can define multiple countdown timers. Say, for example, in next 1 minute, 27 seconds, the current show is ending. If there is any issue, if there is any asset missing, you will see that countdown over here so that someone can go around, fix it up and all.
Absolutely.
So I think that's all about the widgetization part. Once we create a widget, depending on the interest, I just need to click on publish and then boom, it is available on CloudPort page.
And so this screen right here is a list of layouts. So you can basically create lots and lots of custom layouts, designs. You can open them on the fly, share them between operators even.
Yeah, correct. So again, all these layouts are at an account level. Any operator is free to use the layout he is interested in. For example,
so you can even have somebody who's just building layouts. We could build templates a customer could build templates, layouts, and then provide them to each operator.
Yeah, correct, exactly.
Wow.
So typically, right, I'll just take one example of station, right? Station will be having some 20 channels running out of which some say 10 channels are of news type, the other channels are covering something else.
Sure.
Now, depending on the business use case, I can technically have multiple layouts created, and then
Nice.
operator can use it.
Absolutely. That's so cool.
And that's how we can make best use of the real estate available on the screen as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, screens get bigger, but you still you don't want to just take the same UI and scale it, right? You want to be flexible with those pixels, especially with ultra lines,
Yeah.
right? Where you really have that flexibility to go across the entire screen and develop the UI. I love it so much. That's so cool.
Correct. The other part is about we call it multi-channel control. I'll not spend much time in explaining that. I will just talk about it. So typically, say for example, today what happens is each channel will need one operator to handle the action, to take the actions, right? But as we help our customers with operating multiple channels with lesser number of operators, what we can do is we can use multi-channel control. So what does that is? What is that? So using multi-channel control, you can control multiple channels in the same screen. As I was giving a demo about the visualization part, I can just put 3 playlists, 3 output windows, 3 input windows,
right?
And then one operator can look at the screen. At the same time, he can take next over here, live on the other one, and he can take any other action on the third channel as well.
That is fantastic.
Correct. And one other interesting use case over there is I can even gang all the channels together, so that say for example, if I'm covering some sports news, sports event, right?
Sure.
And I have 4 channels going to different geographies or with different languages added, right?
Right.
Technically, the actions which are being taken will remain the same. Every time I will move from one live segment to the break to next live segment. And these segments can be controlled using gang live feature. So it's like I just click on a button called Tech Next, and then all channels from that group will take that action and it will happen.
So we're doing a classic chain of gang controls. We fire once and it happens across all of them, even with live events?
Yeah, even with live events, even if any action you are taking on the setup one or channel one will get populated to all other channels. And that's like now one operator can handle up to 12 channels.
Yep.
So we
That's
can do that.
absolutely amazing. Do you have anything else you want to share before we go to break?
Yeah, so one more thing I want to cover is about the latency part. Now, typically, when it comes to live and play out, right, more and more advanced technologies are coming in. And for Amagi products to stay ahead of the curve, again, we are committed to, provide all these new formats.
Of course.
So recently, we have started supporting something called GDR.
Yes, tell me about this. I've heard about this inside from a few people. I want to know more about this. Let's share GDR with the public.
Yeah, I will take it. I will talk about a few technical terms, but please feel free to stop me. So traditionally, right, or traditionally, what happens is latencies associated with live are constrained by the way how we take and decode the frames. Typically, say for example, what system will do is system will take something called keyframe, will decode it, wait for the next keyframe, and that is how the latencies are getting added. Now, with the new GDR method, what we will do is each frame coming in can be decoded, encoded independently. And using that, the latency can be reduced to a great extent.
By how much?
Oh,
do we have a number or is it just a lot?
So right now it is in the testing phase, but the numbers are promising. We have seen the latencies coming down to 2 to 3 seconds, which is very much very, very much impressive in terms of the other industry standards.
Absolutely.
And this is so again, GDR is what something we are looking after right now. Just before that, we have rolled out an award-winning solution called TRO7, using which the latencies can be reduced further.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, I think these are the few things we have recently launched in our latest release.
Just a few things, not a lot of things, just a few things. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was a pile of things.
Exactly. So I'll say these major features were added on top of the all other successful features which we keep rolling out every quarter, and typically whenever the customers are ready, we typically roll it out in the production as well.
I can't wait to see it out there in the wild in production. Thank you so much, Prem, for talking to us.
Thanks a lot.
And we will be back with our next segment when we return. Thank you all.